Coming up on SportsCenter, we'll be breaking down the Siena-Bryant basketball game, an in-depth discussion on conference realignment, and an interview with Siena President Charles Seifert. All that and more coming up on SportsCenter. Welcome back to SportsCenter. I'm your host, Brian Germanero. Glad to have you with us. Tonight, the Siena Saints will be hosting the Bryant Bulldogs. It's said to be a good matchup, and to break it all down, here's Sean Cunningham and Junior Kone.
Here tonight, we have the Siena against Bryant matchup at MVP Arena. These two teams are meeting for the second time in their history. Siena won the only matchup between these two teams back in 2015. Junior, what do you think of Siena's chances going into this game?
Yeah, Sean. So right now, the Saints coming from a good win against Rider with a crashing 1-6 record prior to that game. Zach Tegan, sophomore guard here, having to step up, especially seeing that we had good players last year leaving to go to better programs or even to the pros. When you see the likes of Javion McCullum, Jared Billups, Andrew Platek, and Jackson Stormo. Now this is a new squad that's really seeking to go further, and it's a rebuild year. There's going to be time and patience. They're going to have to learn through these wins, and a matchup against Bryant is one thing that they can take and move forward.
So as for Bryant going into this game, they've had themselves a little bit of a rough stretch to start the season, but coming into this game, they've won 4 of their last 5, including a big win against Florida Atlantic, who was in the NCAA tournament, made a deep run last year. They have 2 of the better offensive players in their conference right now. Sharif Gross-Bullock, who was the A East leading scorer last year. He currently leads the team with 18 points per game. And Earl Timberlake, who leads the American East currently with 9 rebounds a game. These are 2 players that Siena is going to need to corral if they're going to go far in this game.
Yeah, that's right. And Siena looking like they need a win, desperate enough. I think they have a good chance here and against Bryant.
So 2-6 going into this game. Bryant 5-4. And they had a nice win against Brown last time out. They outscored the Bears 36-30 in the second half, looking to hopefully get some impact performances, not only from guys who are starting, but also coming off the bench. Rafael Pinzone led them last time out with 15. And also, Siena's going to be having a familiar face come back to face them tonight in Doug Edert. He played for St. Peter's. It'll be his first game going in against Siena since 2022, so it should be an exciting matchup tonight.
Yeah, it should be really exciting. Zach Tekin, 23 points last game against Rider. We'll see if he has more in the locker.
Yep, we'll see for sure. So that's going to be it for our analysis segment. Alongside Junior Kone, I'm Sean Cunningham. Back to you, Brian.
Thanks, guys. Although the Bulldogs haven't had much success in the NCAA tournament, they do have a player on their roster who used March Madness to become a household name. Simone Walker has the story.
The Bryant Bulldogs lineup features a name that may sound familiar to those who've watched the 2022 NCAA March Madness tournament, Doug Edert. Edert played a crucial role on his former team, the St. Peter's Peacocks, who had a historical Cinderella run, the school's first ever Elite Eight. In his March Madness debut, Edert finished with 20 points to guide St. Peter's past John Calipari's Kentucky Wildcats. As a junior, Edert averaged 11 points per game in the tournament. However, one interesting thing to remember about the 2022 season, although the Peacocks went on to win the MAC championships, Edert and the team had fallen to the Siena Saints twice in regular season competition. Now in his 5th year, the Nutley, New Jersey native is looking to use his experience to steer Bryant to an America East title. Coming into this game, Edert is averaging 5 points on 42% shooting from the field. Despite being a slight drop-off from his previous stat line at St. Peter's, if there's one thing Coach Carm and the Saints should know, it is to never count Doug Edert out. I'm Simone Walker.
Now, one of the most talked about topics in all of college sports is conference realignment. There have been lots of discussions about what this means for the future of amateur athletics. To break it all down, we have Dan Lade and Mike Giarputo.
Well, thank you, Brian. Over the last several years, there's been a lot of changes in the world of sports, and basically the main change, there's a lot more money now. Now in the NCAA, we've seen realignment, and it's coming. It's in a year, and there's going to be a lot more competition. There's going to be a lot more money involved. There's going to be a lot more power to these players. Dan, what do you think about it all?
Well, not only is it happening next year, it's happening right now in basketball, especially. Houston, a big powerhouse in the mid-majors for the past couple of years in basketball, joining the Big 12, playing against teams like Kansas and Texas just for this year, though Texas moving to the SEC next year. You see it with the mid-majors too. FAU made the Final Four last year. They're going from Conference USA to the American Athletic, the AAC. So definitely some Big entertaining college basketball games coming to us soon, not only this year but next year as well, with Oklahoma and Texas joining the SEC, Arizona joining the Big 12. We get to see Arizona and Kansas, Houston and Arizona play every year. So it's going to be a very entertaining next couple of years in college basketball.
Yeah, and not only that, we're going to see these tournaments to get into March Madness be a lot more entertaining. I mean, you think about the ACC, it's always Duke, North Carolina, Virginia. You're going to get a lot more teams involved, and you're going to get a lot more different results in these tournaments. And I think overall, it's going to make March Madness better, and it's going to make college basketball better in general. I mean, there is an argument against it. Some people don't like how the geographic alignment is going to be, but honestly, look. As a fan, we're getting better games, we're getting more competition, and these players are going to be a lot more happier in the positions that they're in.
Yeah, I know the geographic thing's an issue. I know Stanford and Cal joining the ACC doesn't really make any sense, and to be honest, it doesn't really make sense for me either.
No.
But some of it does make sense. Colorado going from the Pac-12 to the Big 12. Remember, they used to be a Big 12 school back in the late '90s. They just joined the Pac-12 not too long ago. So it's definitely going to be something to get used to for some things. I know SMU isn't really the biggest school in the world. They're going to a Power 5 school, but still, nonetheless, I'm very excited for what's to come in the next couple of years. And it's going to take some time to get used to it, but I think we'll all be happy with it in the next couple of years.
Yeah, I'm all for it. With basketball, it's going to be, look, as we said, there's going to be better competition. There's going to be better games on TV, not only in the tournament, but during the regular season. I think that's something we can all look forward to. Obviously, football is going to get a lot better. I think this is going to be overall a great thing for the NCAA, and I'm really looking forward to it.
I am too.
Excited to see how it all plays out. This year's team has just one senior. Simone Walker caught up with him to talk about his time with the Saints.
Thanks, Brian. I'm here with the Maple Messiah himself, Steven Lazar. So, Steven, you're graduating this May. How do you feel?
It's bittersweet. It's the whole journey went by really quick. As a freshman, all of the seniors on the team would always talk about how quick this journey would be. I always just dismissed it, but now that I am a senior, it's like, wow, this just really went by in a snap. So, I'm happy that I can move on to the next part of my life, but it also it went by quick, so it's kind of interesting just looking back. So
Yeah, you talk about the next part of your life. Do you see yourself returning back to America, or do you think you want to spend some time in Canada?
So my main goal after I graduate from college is to pursue medical school. So I'm probably, just the way things are working now, I'm going to have to probably take a gap year, just because with applications and everything. So mainly I am applying to mostly American schools, but I do have some Canadian schools in mind. So most likely I will be returning. So America will see the Maple Messiah once again.
The Maple Messiah will return. Do you think you want to stay in the Northeast, or do you want to venture out to different parts of the country?
The Northeast would be nice because that's where all my family is, but I think I am a very explorative person, so I think venturing out to different areas outside of the watering hole would be pretty cool, pretty good experience. So I'm open to any kind of opportunity I can get.
And what made you want to go to medical school? That's very challenging.
Yeah, I mean, originally in high school, I wanted to do something in physics after I watched an Albert Einstein documentary, but I didn't really have a great high school physics teacher, and my biology teacher was a lot better, and he made me fall in love with biology, and I felt that stuff relating to the human body and anatomy just came naturally to me, and I like helping people out, and I want to be able to apply my knowledge that I have in the biological sciences to be able to help people, and I think being a doctor is something that can fulfill all those needs that I want.
Do you have a specific area of medicine that you want to practice?
Not specifically. I am, open to many different areas. Not so much surgical areas, but more so, I guess clinical areas. Some areas would be such as like pathology, infectious disease, or other fields. I'm really open to anything at this point, but I think I'll narrow down that search as I progress through medical school.
And I imagine you've been playing basketball pretty much your whole life. Do you see yourself returning to the sport in any sort of way, coaching?
I'm not sure. Whatever the future holds, I can't tell that. I can't predict the future, but I think I will be involved in basketball, just, playing in, if I can get in a men's league or something, or just even playing at LA Fitness or the local YMCA, but I'm not sure about coaching necessarily, but, only time will tell.
Real legends are made in the Y. Everybody knows that.
A big thanks to Siena men's basketball player Steven Lazar for joining us. If you're a gambler, we have you covered. Here are our experts, Dan Layton and Carter Gooley, to tell you what you need to know about tonight's game.
Thanks, Brian. We are here ready to talk some gambling. Big day at MVP Arena today. Bryant, Siena coming off of a big loss against Mount St. Mary's. Bryant coming off of a big win, notably against FAU. They're riding a 2-game win streak. Carter, what do you think? What's your play tonight?
I have the Saints plus 8.5. They're struggling on the season, 2-6, haven't really been covering the spread. But the Saints are mad, they're angry, they're frustrated with how they've been playing, and they're going to easily cover that spread. Easily could even win, too, tonight against Bryant.
Even with Michael Ely coming off of an injury, we don't know if he's playing or not. You're really going to take that plus 8.5?
I'm staying with it. I believe in Zach Tekken. He's a great player. He's great point guard. He's great vision. He's going to make things happen for the Saints tonight.
I don't know about that one. I would take the minus 8.5, but it's not going to be my play today. My play today is going to be the under of 140.5. You can get it at minus 115. Siena, in their last 5 games, they're 5-0 to the under. This season, they're 5-1-2 to the under. I think that the under is the play here. They haven't reached 70 points once in the past 5 games. And the same thing with Bryant as well. They're not really that much of a high-scoring team. They usually rely on their defense. So I'm more than likely going to go with the under. You can get that at minus 115 at 140.5. Sorry, talking too fast here. But definitely love that play. Anything else from you?
Yeah, I could see the over totally happening. I'm going to have to disagree with you. I could see this game being 80 to 85, somewhere up there. These teams are going to come out shooting. They're going to come out strong. I could totally see the over for tonight's game.
Well, that's all the time we have. We're going to toss it back to Brian alongside Carter Gooley. I'm Dan Layton. Back to you, Brian.
All right, well, best of luck to you guys and for anyone betting on this game at home. Now it's time to have a little fun. Let's find out how smart sophomores Brendan Coyle and Mason Courtney are. Here's Dan Layton.
Thanks, Brian. I am here with Siena basketball players Brendan Coyle and Mason Courtney, and today we're going to have a good old-fashioned trivia contest. Brendan, Mason, what are your attitudes going into this?
Personally, I'm very confident in my abilities regarding trivia. I really want to win, and I'm not going to let that, take away from the fact that this is all for fun.
Yes. Brendan?
Not a huge trivia guy myself, but looking to do the best I can.
All right, so you're going to be asked 5 sports questions and 5 general knowledge questions. So we're going to start off with the sports questions. First off, who is the current leading scorer in the NBA? Mason?
Luka Doncic.
Incorrect. Brendan?
Do I got to hit the button?
No, it's an answer if you want
Jokic.
No, it's actually Joel Embiid. Tough one. Next up.
That's tough.
Who has won the most NBA championships as a coach?
Oh, I had to.
As a coach.
Phil Jackson.
Yes, that's correct. Brendan up 1-0.
It's tough.
Next question. Which team has the best record in NBA regular season history? Mason.
The Golden State Warriors.
That's correct. Tied at 1. Question 4. Which NBA team has the most NBA Finals appearances? Brendan.
The Celtics.
That's correct.
2-1 in favor of Brendan.
Another college basketball question. Who was the first number 16 seed to upset a number 1 seed in March Madness? Brendan.
Was it Fairleigh Dickinson last year?
No. They were the second. Mason.
It was Loyola.
It was not. It was UMBC who beat Virginia in 2018.
Shoot.
All right. 2-1, Brendan. We have some if necessary questions to you, so we're good on that. Who kicked the longest field goal in NFL history? Mason.
Justin Tucker.
That's correct. We're tied at 2.
I'm never getting that.
Here's what I.
Which NFL player has won the most MVP awards? Mason.
Tom Brady.
Incorrect. You can't answer.
Yeah.
I'm out of guesses.
Yeah,
gotta guess.
You only got one guess.
Got a shot clock. Shot clock here.
I'll just throw out Eli Manning, Giants legend.
Wrong Manning. It's Peyton Manning. Which NFL team is the only one to have an undefeated season?
The New England Patriots.
Incorrect.
No, they lost to the Giants.
I thought regular season.
This is including playoffs.
The Dolphins.
That's correct.
Oh, wow.
It is 3-2, I believe.
I am losing.
Yes, 3-2.
Name one of the two teams, NFL teams, that finished the regular season 0-16.
The Cleveland Browns.
That's correct. The other one's the Detroit Lions. I know Mitch in the studio is very happy about that.
Last sports question.
Who won the first Super Bowl?
The Green Bay Packers.
That's correct.
So
Yes!
5-2 going.
4-3 going
little
into
before our time.
the regular general knowledge.
Yes.
What's the name of the formal body which elects the president and the vice president of the United States?
the
Mason.
Electoral College.
That's correct.
Look at you, you're locked.
I'm locked now.
Name this bird. It is the tallest bird in the world and also fastest on land. Despite it weighing as much as
300 pounds, it can run up to 45 miles an hour, Mason.
Ostrich.
That's correct.
What's the term for an animal that sleeps during the day and
Hunts at night. Brendan.
Nocturnal.
That's correct. How many Supreme Court justices are there? Brendan.
9.
That's correct.
I would have got it wrong.
It gives you wings is the motto of
What energy drink?
Red Bull.
That's correct.
Oh, sugar-free or regular?
what body of water does the Mississippi River flow into?
Mason.
Oh, Atlantic.
No.
Pacific.
No, the Gulf of Mexico.
Oh, tough. That's
In,
tough.
in what city would you find
The University of North Carolina. Brendan.
Raleigh.
No.
Wilmington.
No. Chapel Hill.
Oh,
I didn't know that was a city.
Yeah, it's a
That's tough.
what does CEO stand for?
Brendan.
Chief Executive Officer.
That's correct.
Name all the countries that
Border the United States. Brendan.
Canada and Mexico.
That's correct.
Last question.
What's the name of the disorder that causes people to suddenly fall asleep regardless of where they are?
Oh. Yeah, you got it.
Mason.
Narcolepsy.
That's correct.
So we got a final score?
8-7 in favor of Mason. Mason wins by 1 question.
Oh, wow.
We want to thank Brendan and Mason for joining us today. I'm Dan Layton. Back to you, Brian.
All right, thanks guys. That'll do it for our pregame show tonight. A big thanks to all of our crew for their help. I'm Brian Germanero, and thank you so much for tuning in. It's Sienna, it's Brian. Enjoy the game.